Hello, my fellow Americans. I do apologize for interrupting your timeline doom scrolling. Extra, extra. Read all about it. This just in from the Executive Parliamentarian Pizza Party. Before I get to a basic foundation of what you can understand as the ultimate all source of truth, you must first understand the calibration of the mechanism of Saturn's rings. And also what's happening with the interstellar object that was orbiting in space, sometimes soared into aerodynamic space systems many moons yonder, while that event occurred in space before Kurt got assassinated and even before the Ukraine woman got brutally stabbed on the train. So then what basically now, you ask? Yes, very good question. Well, Frank, what we're looking at is we're not very sure, but what we do know is that there's a series of events that is taking place that we might want to be aware of, but be in particular about what it could mean and get the diameter, the circumference, and bring it back to the justice system. Because if indeed the justice system is doing what they're supposed to be doing, until it always be what they're supposed to be doing, they'll never need an internal affair department to internalize the internal part of that particular individual internal department within the centralized source of the department internalized. And then what you'll see is that they need to be doing what they've always needed to be doing, and ultimately you'll see what they've been doing. All of the things come up and down, and if you ever see anything else than what they're saying, then that's probably because you're crazy, so go take some pills. And if you get on the pills and they start making you shake, then maybe you should take some other pills, and that will start making you shake. And then if you take this guy to work, and then you got all the pills, and you get out the clutter that's in your spiritual closet, and realize that health problems are actually spiritual. And you need to deal with all of your problems spiritually. Most of them anyway. Medicine is good, but it can't solve all your problems. So pay attention to what is poison and what is reefer madness. And some medicines, especially those in psychological issues, can make other problems worse. There are medicines we need. There are things we do. But you need to realize that you're a spiritual creature that has things that can bring back the interstellar object up to the incontinental transformational before you ever even thought that the system got a flux capacity to obliterate the gates of oblivion inside the oblivionized, weaponated systems of mass destruction. And side note, never start a sentence with and or but. Which finally brings us to the point. It would appear that as a result of the justice system, there are things that could be taking place underground all the way down to the core in the middle of the earth. And even as we speak, and if you consult the scientist from Spy Kids 2, who is also responsible for Public Enemy #1, Joe Dirt, and some sort of spawn from Mr. Flugly himself, peanut butter and gumballs is my friends, peanut butter and gumbo the mole. Because if they really didn't make a murderer, then millions and billions of peoples would have never signed the correct documentation in order to get the approved and then ratified into the Bill of Rights, which overruled all 50 states at once. Sam Crow, you say, who knows? Impossible. They have him locked up in the center of Alcatraz, surrounded by 74 sharks with laser beams attached to their heads. Yes, Basil. Yes, it's getting serious out here. Who knows? Which all leads to the real crux of this whole operation, which happened behind the scenes. And so lastly, it's always important to remember that convicting a murderer should prove that they never actually even made it with season 2. So if you take season 2 and you put it in a mechanical carbon copy of what they're actually trying to tell you in between all the things that might seem crazy ever so often all the time, well, then maybe you'll see that the answer was right in front of your face the entirety of the existence you've ever expanded before you built the halo to see. And what you'll come to see is the whole entire time, all you needed to do was get that loving thing on. Because if we don't get that loving thing on, we're not going to make it. So go squeeze baby Jesus cheeks. Repent and believe the gospel. It is your only hope and humanity's final chance. So go squeeze baby Jesus cheeks. Sweet baby Jesus. And thank Tom Cruise and Brad Pitt for the F1 Verde Vanilla Vie. Days of Thunder, my friend. Shake and bake. Shake and bake. Bill Gluckman out. Bill Gluckman out.